I'm Kara Stutzman. A new era for ACU football begins tonight as the Wildcats play their first Division I game.
And I'm Grant Boone. We'll have the latest buzz as the Hornets of Concordia College land at Shotwell Stadium. A new season of the Ken Collums Show starts right now. Welcome into Studio D1 for the season debut of the Ken Collums Show. I'm Grant Boone, joined by my co-host this year, Kara Stutzman, senior broadcast journalism major from Carl Junction, Missouri, and the second-year head football coach at ACU, Ken Collums. Coach, this is one of the high holy days on the football fans' calendar. It is the first Saturday of college football, but it's a very different day around ACU. It's your first ever game as a member of NCAA Division I. I know that when that ball is kicked off for the first time tonight at Shotwell Stadium, you're going to be thinking about how do I beat Concordia College. But how much will also this milestone be on your mind?
Well, off and on you think about it as a coach, and definitely as a head coach. You don't ponder it too much, but because the bottom line is you're going to play 4 quarters of really good football. It doesn't matter what level you're at or who you're playing. There's been a lot of hype and a lot that goes with this, and it should be, because it is a monumental deal. I mean, we're in the right spot at the FCS level, and Division I football is going to be fun. But as far as when that ball's kicked off on tonight, hey, we're trying to line up in the right spot, fly around, make tackles, throw and catch, and protect the ball. So that it's all football.
Well, Coach, along with the changes to D1, there's no playoffs for the next 4 seasons, and ACU is very used to getting into that postseason, as are the fans. How have you kind of gone into or changed your mindset going into the next 4 seasons without those playoffs?
Well, the thing is, you don't really concentrate and focus on the negative, which is the not making the playoffs bit, and I appreciate you bringing that up. But
right off the bat.
That's right. But the bottom line is, here at ACU, there is so much more to this whole experience, college football experience, the quality football and the great education, the spiritual atmosphere, the whole thing. There's way more to it than just going to the playoffs. However, playing the playoffs has been a staple here. We've created a quality situation where we expect to do that. But even in recruiting, we tell these guys when we recruit them, hey, if you're picking a school to spend the next 4 or 5 years at, based on playoffs only, then, man, I hope it works out, because if it doesn't, you may end up with an empty bag. And here, if somebody can make it through this transition, it is ACU, because there's so much more. It runs way deeper than just having a shot to make the playoffs here.
Well said. Well, the division is not the only thing that's new here this year at ACU. The new set, what do you think? It's not bad, is it?
Very nice.
I like it.
I hope you like what we've done with the place. And then some other new fun things like new uniforms. We've got the new form-fitting. This looks like a kid's onesie.
It does. It looks like the kids' version.
Right.
What that is called, we're in Adidas school now.
Yes.
So
that's big, isn't it?
It's huge. That is the Adidas Tech Fit uniform, which looks like a really small kid-size uniform, but that is super stretchy. What that is, that's going to go on our linebackers and fullbacks. That's a medium, and that looks tiny, but what it does, it's basically a shrink-wrapped uniform. They put it on, and it just fits them, and they love it. I mean, you see people all across the country going to that because players want that.
Now tell us, your new quarterback, John David Baker, tried on one of these new jerseys, and what was his response?
Well, I was scared to death it was going to be too small, because it just looked, oh my gosh, that looks so small. And he looks at me and goes, Coach, I don't even feel like I have a jersey on. It's
Amazing.
So comfortable.
Yeah. Well, the new helmet is sharp too, and this matters, doesn't it, to recruits when you're trying to sell the university? They care about this stuff, don't they?
When you're sitting in a living room with a family, they're going to ask about uniforms.
Yeah.
They're going to ask you, are you Adidas? They're going to ask about uniforms. What do your helmets look like? And we've come up with some sharp helmets now.
They're big.
Yeah, our
ferocious looking.
That's right. It's in the big logo. You'll see some schools doing that probably more and more this year. But I really think some of those logos look a little dicey at times, but that Wildcat right there, the big Wildcat on the side of the helmet looks really good.
Yeah, really does. Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the other new things for ACU football, including a new schedule with some new opponents. We'll do that a little bit later on. But when we come back, we're going to begin breaking down this 2013 Wildcat team, and we'll begin with the offense. That's when we return to the Ken Collums Show right after this.
Back here on the Ken Collums Show, with the season opener against Concordia College just hours away, let's take a look at this year's ACU team, beginning with the offense. Coach, for the first time since you came here in 2005, you're not calling the plays on offense. You gave that hat over to Nathan Young. Could you tell us a little bit about that decision?
Well, the first thing is it's going to be a little bit rough for me. Selfishly, I'm used to calling plays since about 2002. So I'll be working under construction on, hey, this is Nathan's deal. You'll be there as a mentor, be there to help guide him, and I'm sure I'll get on his nerves a little bit. But as a head coach, and that's the number one thing that I've got to learn to do now, is just keep improving as a head coach. There were times last year as a head coach calling plays from the sideline. I'd never been a head coach, and I'd never called plays from the sideline. I've always been in the box. There were times where on Sunday afternoon we'd come in to watch the game, and it would be like, ooh, I would see something, and boy, if I would have seen that from the box, I would have been a little bit more patient with this certain concept, or I would have gone in a different direction. So I think now, just as being a head coach, taking a step back, turning things over to your coordinators. I got 3 coordinators, and letting them do it, and just be there to be a head coach. And I think I'd manage the game a lot better. Nathan's ready. He is a very sharp guy. His intelligence level is, it's upper level. He can, what he does well, he can take information, crunch it up, spit it out. If we say during the week, hey, this is a left hash play, the first time we get to the +20, let's do this, he'll be on it. And he is ready. He pays attention. He tries to grow every day. He's got a humble heart. And he's an ACU guy. All he knows is Abilene Christian University football, which I don't know if I've brainwashed him along the way. At some level, I kind of hope I have, but no, he'll have his own little flavor to it. But the bottom line is, you got to protect the ball. You do what your quarterback does well, and then you ought to be efficient.
He's a big reason why your offensive units had so much success for a lot of years around here when he was playing offensive line for you. All right, Coach. In case you've forgotten, let me just remind you of a couple of numbers here. You've been at ACU for 8 years, 7 as offensive coordinator, 1 as a head coach. In 93 games that you've been at ACU, only 4 people have suited up as a starting quarterback for you. And 84 of those 93 games were started by 2 guys, Billy Malone and Mitchell Gale. And all they did was throw for 24,000 combined yards and 200 touchdowns.
That's good.
A new era begins tonight when you turn the reins over to a new quarterback who's really not new, 5th-year senior John David Baker. What do you expect from him tonight, and what do you expect from JD all season long?
Well, he is ready. John David is ready. It's always a little spooky when you roll into the game 1 with a new quarterback. That's on any level, and really anything you do, you want continuity. But the fact is, as people graduate, they move on, they do it, so you have the next guy ready. He is ready. He proved that in the spring. He protected the ball, made great decisions. He had a great summer of preparation. This fall camp, he did really, really well. Guides everybody, he directs the run game, protects the ball. I don't expect perfection at all because he's been around here 4 years and he knows the gig, but there's nothing like being out there doing it and having a complete grasp of everything where you're able to make comments to Shakandrick West, hey, slow down there, buddy, on the handoff. So just take a deep breath. That's all part of being a quarterback is feeling good enough within yourself with what you're doing so you can take others with you. And it may take him a while to get that. It may not. He may get all that quicker than we think. But I totally trust the guy or I wouldn't be playing him. And he's ready.
It'll be his first start since 2008 over in San Angelo. You had a chance to talk to JD, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I got a chance to talk to him about the new offensive coordinator, Nathan Young, and his new role as quarterback. Here's what he had to say.
I think Coach Young is very talented. He's a very smart guy. He's one of the more smarter coaches I've ever been around. He has a mind for the game of football and understands things and understands what we're trying to accomplish on offense. And so Coach Collums isn't just handing the keys to just a nobody. I mean, Coach Young knows what he's doing. He's been in this offense for a long time, and I don't see any reason why it just won't continue to elevate. I mean, we're going to do some different things. It's still our offense, still the ACU offense that's been here for years, and we're going to be very multiple. We're going to do a lot of different things, shifts and motions, and very pro style. But at the same time, we're going to add some wrinkles, just some things that it's going to allow to put our playmakers in the best situation and be successful. And yeah, it involves some zone read stuff just to get me out and moving a little bit, some sprint out stuff. And so our approach to things isn't really any different. It's just, it's just a few more installation of different plays and different packages and stuff, and it's exciting stuff. I think it's been fun for everyone to have a little new wrinkle to the offense. Honestly, I'm just ready for that first game. It's been a long time since I've been, center stage and in the heat of the battle, and I'm just excited to get out in front of the crowd and hear the roar of the crowd and score a touchdown and go celebrate with my teammates and my best friends. And so that's honestly what I'm most excited about. The rest is just icing on the cake for me. I don't think it's smart for us to have low expectations. I think we have to have high expectations just because of the people that are on this team. So I have high expectations of myself. I have high expectations of this team. We expect to win every ball game, and we feel like we've got the talent to do that. It's just about going out and executing. And if we don't execute, then we're not going to win some of these games. But if we execute at a high level, I think we've got a chance to win every game.
Well, Coach, as we've discussed, John David Baker is not going to have to carry the load all by himself. He has a lot of veteran players at skill positions, guys at the wide receiver position. Let's talk about the backfield. You've got a couple of home run hitters. Daryl Cantu-Harkless, who I know is going to split some time at different positions, but also Shakandrick West, a couple of seniors. Shakandrick has 19 career touchdowns, 2,500 all-purpose yards. DCH is over 3,000 all-purpose yards and 14 touchdowns. A couple of long ball hitters. They can take it deep, and they have for you.
The best friend of a quarterback is a good running back. I can tell you that. And with whatever number you said for Shakandrick on touchdowns, it didn't take him long to get to the end zone. The guy's fast. I mean, he is a really explosive guy. He looks like $1 million right now. He looks better than he ever has. He's moving around. He feels well, catches the ball well. He's good at pass protection. So I look for really big things for the entire course of the season from Shakandrick. And with Daryl, he's going to do well wherever you put him. And I love putting him in the backfield some. Love moving him around. Health-wise, we'll do with him whatever we can, whatever he feels like, because he's still not 100% after a car accident. So I look for big things from our running backs.
Well, we'll see some other names like Jeremiah Williams and DeAndre Brown. We'll talk about those guys more as the season goes along.
Well, not only do you have an experienced backfield, but also on the outsides you have guys like Taylor Gabriel and Darian Hogg to help him out. How is that going to help JD develop throughout the season? Well,
the big thing, when you mention those names, those are guys that have been here forever, and they know what to expect. They know they've been through the challenges and the positive games that we've had, and they know that, if I just do my job, if my route is to get to 14 yards, I'm going to get to 14 yards. And if I get collision, I may have to cut it down a little bit. They understand all that, and all that helps the quarterback. If you have got a super talented fleet of receivers, but they haven't played in your offense and they don't know the nuances of your offense, it makes it harder on that quarterback because he may have to hold the ball a little bit longer. But those guys we've got an experienced offense back. And John David is somewhat experienced. He's been around the offense, but he's still got to go out there and do it. But he's got a good group of receivers to help him.
And a veteran line as well. You move Will Latu over to right tackle. Blake Spears, the senior, goes to left tackle. Should be a lot of fun to watch this offense once again and to see how Nathan Young handles his first season as the offensive play caller. Well, when we come back, we're going to head up to the JMC Network Sports Desk to check in on other ACU sports on this historic first week in Division I. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Ken Collums Show. Football isn't the only fall sport getting its start this week. For a look at the other sports around campus, here's Matt Sloan and Shirley Murawski with the Sportscast.
Welcome to the JMC Network Sportscast. I'm Shirley Murawski.
And I'm Matthew Sloan.
ACU sports are gearing up for the many changes this year that come along with moving to Division I. The volleyball team will face new, stronger teams such as Texas Tech and University of Texas at Arlington. We caught up with Jennifer Lurch to see how the past few months have prepared the team for this transition and the goals for this year.
It's completely different in the sense that we're going D1 and that we don't know, like the teams that we're playing are going to be more physical and like possibly bigger and stronger than us. So it's good that we do have the same system as last year and we've been like working so hard at it. I mean, we're all so excited because, okay, spring season, going into it we had like 9 players and we thought we were gonna get our butts kicked. Like we thought it was gonna be so bad. We hung with those teams like OU and Texas Tech, and so like now that we're at like full strength and stuff, we're excited. We're gonna do big things this year, I think.
After months of preparation starting way back in the spring, the volleyball team finally thinks they are ready to take on the difficult Southland Conference schedule. With a lot of young talent returning, head coach Kellen Mock thinks that all their hard work is going to pay off with a historic season.
You know, I think a lot of the change is just in our perspective of things. You know, there's always excitement about going Division I, but now all of us are really prepared for it. We've done our due diligence, we've done our research, we kind of know a little bit more about what we're getting into, what our conference looks like, and so there's a lot of, I think a lot of the coaches, as much as we're excited and we're nervous, we're also a lot more comfortable about going forward at this point.
Soccer is the first of our ACU Wildcat teams to experience the Division I competition. Head coach Casey Wilson discussed the changes this move brings, including the mental state of the players and the focus for the team this season, partly due to not being eligible for the postseason play or titles over the next few years.
Just mainly not taking anything for granted. I mean, every single practice, every single game, we have to be able to play at our full potential, and prepare ourselves. I mean, I feel like that if we're at our full potential and we're healthy, that we can play with anybody. So really taking it day by day and just really, not taking the opportunity we have here for granted, for sure.
The soccer team has already played a couple of matches, and the Wildcats put together an excellent offensive match against Oklahoma City University with a 3-2 win. Senior Andrea Carpenter thinks they are already getting comfortable with each other on the pitch.
The team chemistry that we have going on, I was pretty nervous about how it was going to be because we have like 14 new girls that were coming in this season, and I didn't really know their personalities or how we were all going to mesh together, but we've really had a lot of fun, did a lot of team bonding, gotten to know each other, and so it's been great getting to know all the girls, and I've loved it so far, so I've been really happy with how that's been. Played TCU, like going into it, I was super nervous because like TCU is a really good team and they're like a really good program, and so before the game, everyone was just jitters and we were all kind of scared, and then after we got out on the field and everyone realized like we can play with these teams, it was like a whole new ball game. Like now I feel like we can win conference and we can come in and make a big difference. So
for Matt Sloan, I'm Shirley Murawski. Make sure to tune in next week, and thanks for watching the JMC Network Sportscast.
When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the defensive changes made this season. So stay right here on the Ken Collums Show.
Back here on the Ken Collums Show in Studio D1 here on the campus of Abilene Christian University, we continue our preview of the 2013 ACU Wildcat football team. Coach, let's turn our attention to your defense. Second year with Darian Doolin as your defensive coordinator. Last year, 8 fewer points per game allowed, a huge improvement. You allowed fewer yards per game as well. A lot of guys coming back. You lose your leading tackler in L.B. Suggs, a tremendous performer for you for 4 years, but you've got a lot of veteran guys I know you're going to be leaning on. When you think big picture defense, what do you think this year?
Well, I'm super proud of our defensive line in fall camp. Our new D-line coach, Andre Rowe, has come in. He understands D-line play. He is a D-line guy.
Yeah,
he goes to sleep thinking about D-line. He wakes up thinking about D-line. And because of that passion, that bleeds over into our players. And he's relating to them well. Nick Richardson, defensive end, Colby Rowe, the other one. There better be some offensive tackles that better be prepared tonight for Concordia, because those guys will put the heat on you, and because they do on us every single day in practice. Linebacker-wise, our 2 rocks are Thor Warner and Jesse Harper. They're in the middle. They direct things. They're on point. And you hear in sports, you got to be good up the middle, and those are guys that'll be right there in the middle of the defense, identifying strengths, making changes out there on the field for us. But secondary wise, it's hard to replace L.B. Suggs. He was a football dude now. Angel Lopez, Lynn Grady, those guys. We've got some safeties we'll roll in there that'll. It may take them a while to get to where LB was. We haven't even tackled. Not one single drill in fall camp. So those guys, it hurts linebackers and all that, but it hurts those safeties that we've almost played sissy football here in fall camp. Of course, the defensive guys are constantly, hey, they want to hit the quarterbacks, but I won't let them. So it'll be, our approach is, man, I got to get those guys to the game. But tackling, LB was a hitter now, and we've got some good safeties that are good tacklers. I just hadn't seen it yet in fall camp, so that's a little bit different. Yeah. And at corner, Caleb Withrow, and we've got some other guys that are gonna rotate in and help him. But it'll be interesting on defense.
Yeah. Well, with all the defense and the changes that we said earlier into D1, your guys are going to have to get a little bit faster. Now, I haven't read a whole lot about Concordia. Can you tell me the mindset or your kind of game plan going into tonight's game?
Well, when you say faster, that's exactly what we're going to have to our level of functionality has got to be at top speed. We've done a lot of tempo as far as snap the ball as fast as we can, just because we're going to do a little bit of that on offense. But Concordia is going to do a lot of that. They're going to be get as many snaps as you can. There's a lot of offensive approaches that are like that, and they fit into that. Now, what exactly they do, we don't really know. We know they're going to spread it out and throw the ball, snap it a bunch, but everybody, you hear we run the air raid offense or whatever, and there's a lot of little change-ups and nuances within each little system that, that fit their personnel and fit their personality. So our guys are going to have to line up and get right and be able to make tackles really quickly.
Well, Coach, it should be fun. Concordia College tonight, 7 o'clock at Shotwell Stadium. The pregame show will be at 6:30 p.m. A new radio partner for ACU football this year, 98.1 FM. The Ticket. You can also catch it around the world via the iHeartRadio app. Lance Fleming and I will have the call. For Kara Stutzman and for Coach Ken Collums, I'm Grant Boone. Thanks for watching the Ken Collums Show. We'll see you at Shotwell Stadium tonight for the season opener.